Hello, and welcome to Travel Tales, my weekly podcast. I'm Isabella, the virtual travel agent within the new Journey Hero travel app that will soon be available for you to download. During each episode of this podcast, we visit a particular location around the world and speak with travellers that are empowered by Journey Hero every day. Berlin isn't just the capital of Germany, it's a wonderful place to live. In my opinion, it's the most comfortable capital in Europe, and maybe in the entire world. I've asked one of my best friends, Desi, to speak with me about Berlin. How are you doing, Desi?
Hi, Isabella. I'm good. I'm looking forward to speaking with you about Berlin, my absolute go-to city for a good time.
What's your favourite thing about Berlin, Desi?
I love Berlin. Berlin is unpretentious, full of beautiful young residents, very convenient, and a great place for fun and relaxation. On top of everything else, it's not expensive. You don't need to break the bank to visit Berlin.
For sure, it's just fabulous for a city break. Let me tell our listeners a little about this exciting city. Berlin was founded in its current location in 1237, but it really grew when it became the seat of power for the Hohenzollern family, who eventually ruled all of Germany, starting from their founder, Frederick I. With only short breaks, Berlin has been a capital for about 600 years. As the seat of power, it gained wealth and also civic institutions like museums, opera houses, parks and monuments. Today, it is the largest city by population in Europe, with more than 5.4 million residents in the metropolitan area. It is a vibrant, exciting and welcoming city that invites the world to see how it has overcome its 20th century history.
Absolutely. History is everywhere in Berlin. And instead of hiding their past, it seems that modern Germans have embraced atonement and do their absolute best to ensure that recent history does not repeat itself. And of course, Berlin's reputation for spice and intrigue just make it cooler. I'll be honest, I'll probably be dressed in a trench coat and a fedora close to Checkpoint Charlie.
I think you'd look totally great in a trench coat and fedora, Desi. Our listeners may not know that Berlin has a brand new airport called Berlin-Brandenburg International Airport. It opened on the 31st of October 2020, so you might be excused for not knowing that this impressive facility is now open. Berlin offers excellent public transport with trains and an efficient underground system, and it's easy and inexpensive to use rideshares and taxis. So, Desi, what are your favourite sights in Berlin?
I'm a bit of a culture vulture, so I love Berlin's museums and monuments. Berlin has an entire island dedicated to museums called Museum Island that has maybe the best collection of museums in the entire world. The Altes, the Neues, the Bode, the Pergamon, and recently they've been joined by the Humboldt Forum, which opened up in late 2020. I personally can't wait to visit the Humboldt, which is dedicated to non-European art.
I love Museum Island as well, but I think Berlin's parks and monuments are even more impressive. The Brandenburg Gate is one of the most famous monuments, and it's so close to the Tiergarten, one of the best urban parks in the world. I enjoy tracing the path of the Berlin Wall and marvelling at how reunification has produced a harmonious, wealthy and equal society.
One of my favorites is the zoo. I can spend hours there interacting with their wonderful collection of animals. And then, of course, there are the events that seem to dot the calendar in Berlin. I, for instance, enjoy the Christmas markets, the Berlinale Film Festival during winter, but of course there are events all year round. And Isabella, by the way, I'm thinking now, do you know that Berlin's marathon often sets the world record times because of its flat terrain and excellent surfaces?
Speaking of marathons, I'm tired of waiting for the Journey Hero app to be ready. Listen to this short introduction to this exciting app. With Journey Hero, you can dream, search, shop and book deals easily that are just right for you. Then, after you find your best trip, we will keep looking for an even better deal. If we find it, we'll ask you if you want to swap. If you choose to swap, we will take care of all the rebooking and refund the difference in price to your wallet, all with never storing your data on the cloud. There are no unfulfilled promises, no in-store credits, and no fuss. Just money back in your wallet. How cool is that? Now, back to our podcast. Hey Desi, what are your favourite restaurants in Berlin?
Oh, there's so many, serving every type of food imaginable. But I probably need to try and narrow them down to my absolute favorites. So for instance, for steaks, I love Grill Royale, that is right on the river. It also has an extraordinary wine selection and it's always busy.
Yum, that sounds great. My favourite is Toulouse-Lautrec, the quirky Michelin-starred restaurant where the proprietor often comes around the tables to encourage guests to drink more. You are correct, there are just too many great restaurants to list. I know that you're a renowned partier, Desi. So, where do you go for fun in Berlin?
The great thing about Berlin is that it's so egalitarian. There's absolutely nothing pretentious about that city. And for example, one of my favorite bars is the Monkey Bar at the Bikini Hotel. This rooftop bar is excellent and offers lovely views. And although it's so very trendy, if you show up dressed expensively, others will make fun of you. Berlin is all about having fun and not about being seen.
That's so true. It's also such a young crowd. That makes for a light-hearted evening. Anywhere else of note?
There's so many cool spots in Berlin. I like the Clerkenbauhaus party because it's fun to say. I enjoy Newton's Bar, which is decorated with life-size pictures of Helmut Newton's nudes from the 1970s. I also like G&T because it has an incredible gin selection and makes perfect cocktails.
Those all sound really fun. I bet they're the best on long summer evenings. I know you prefer to party than to sleep, but when you need to rest, where do you like to stay in Berlin?
I'm probably very partial to the Bikini Hotel, and not just because of the Monkey Bar. The Bikini has excellent service and a very laid-back style.
My favourite is the Grand Hyatt. Even though it's a chain hotel, the team there have made it quintessentially Berliner, with a cool minimalist style and strong green ethic.
For the perfect Berlin excellence, I would suggest the Hotel Adlon. It's a Kempinski property right next to the Brandenburg Gate. It has solid Cold War credentials, and it's probably the perfect setting for a romantic city break.
I'd forgotten about the Adlon. It is the perfect location. Thank you for your recommendations, Desi, and thank you so much for joining us today. Do you have any closing thoughts about Berlin to share with our listeners?
Well, I can say Berlin is the capital of cool. There is so much happening in this vibrant metropolis that you'll be absolutely spoiled for choice.
Thanks so much, Desi. Thanks for listening to Travel Tales with me, Isabella. Before you go, show some love by leaving us a review where you found this podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook at Journey Hero app for more travel inspiration. Be sure to download the app as soon as it's available in your area.